Welcome to the Alaska, Santa Fe, and Pacific's Model Railroad. Hi guys, I'm going to kind of walk you through how I'm doing my scenery on my layout. As you can see at the corner here, I've got some started, but I decided to show you how I got there. So the first thing I'm going to do is paint the rails so they look like they're rusty and not shiny and new. And I'm using a Microlux Custom Blend flat finish rail brown paint. Right now it's on sale from $7 a bottle to $2.79 a bottle. So I picked up a few of them. It's a 2-ounce bottle. If you're interested, you can go to Micromark and check it out. Anyway, I use this little bottle to pour it in just to make it easier to paint with. And then I bought all these brushes. They're just about right for the width of the rail. I got them from Temu. I know some people don't like Temu, but I like them. I buy stuff and get lots of freebies from them. So I think I got about 100 of these little brushes for free on one of my other purchases. So check it out. They got them for bundles of 40 for like $2 and stuff. But I get a lot of them because I use them once or twice. Sometimes I'll rinse them out if I'm using acrylics. Another time I'll just throw them away. So anyway, I'm going to show you a little bit. Not going to bore you to death painting the whole rail, but I'm going to start painting it here. Let me open the jar and pour in some paint. If I can get it in here. It's already full, so I don't have to add any right now. So we will start painting. Get the brush about half covered, and then I just start over here on the edge of the rail. Not too fancy, not trying to win a Rembrandt contest or nothing, but I just keep rubbing it on. And if you get some paint on the rail, you can either wipe it off with your finger like this, or come back later and clean it off with a track cleaning brush. And so what I do is I just get a coat of this on there. Like I said, I'm not trying to make it too pretty or perfect, just trying to cut the silvery sheen down. And I also like to do the inside rail, at least if you can see it from where you're viewing it, just so it looks a little bit more realistic. So that's all I do, and then I wipe it off if there's too much. These bumpers are from K&R Custom Models. We 3D print them ourselves and wire them up with an LED if you want a lighted bumper. And I think we're selling them for $10 a piece, which isn't too bad because you can compare them to the cheap crappy ones that just came out from Menards, and theirs look like junk, little bitty flumpy dumpy things. Anyway, these are nice, big, heavy, solid, kind of our own design, but we've modified it from others looking at them. But my brother drew these all up himself and printed them out on our 3D printers. So if you want some, just look on our website, our YouTube channel, or you can email ken.ohrig, O-E-H-R-I-G, @gmail.com, and let them know you're interested. And if you include your phone number, we'll give you a call back, or at least have your email. We can email you back. So anyway, that's all I'm doing. So as you can see, I'm just getting a fine coat of rust on there. So anyway, I'm going to stop the video for now, and we'll come back later. Okay, as you can see, I got both sides of the rails painted on both sides, from either side when you're looking at it, even under here. And here's the other side of the track so you can see. So we'll let that dry for a while and then we'll come back and put the ballast in. I'll show you how to do that. Okay, I let the paint dry long enough, I hope. So what I'm going to do now is start putting the ballast down. And I'll show you my technique. I'm sure there's 101 ways to do this, but I found this works pretty well. So I'm going to start off at this end. And first thing I'm going to do, I've decided I'm going to use what's called, this is from Michael's. They have Ashland's Decorative Filler Gravel. And I used their light and dark gray blends for the tracks back here. But for the coal and the spur for the power plant, I'm going to use this, it's almost black. Some people might call it cinders, but I'm going to call it black or brown basalt. Excuse me. I don't know why I got the hiccups all of a sudden. But it's really dark brown, almost black, I guess. It's hard to say. But close enough to give us what we're looking for. I also have used Brennan's Better Ballast. It's almost identical to what this looks like. So if I can't find the Michael's stuff, I'll use that. But anyway, what I do is I pour a little bit into one of these little plastic cups. And then I just start dumping it down in between the rails like this. And I don't necessarily completely fill it, but I put down enough that it'll fill up between the ties. So that's the first thing I do. As you can see here. And don't worry about the stuff that spills out. You'll straighten that out later. So what I start doing is I just rub it back and forth with my finger. Get it jammed up inside of the ties. And just gently rub. Don't rub hard. Just take your finger and lightly move it back and forth in the rail. And then if you grab the rail and take your thumb, you can slide it down. Some people use a small brush. I found this works the best because that way I can actually feel the gravel on top of the ties as to whether or not I have it rubbed good and down in beside. Plus you can kind of force it down in between the ties to really fill it up good. So that's what I do. Once I get it rubbed in to where I'm happy with it, just keep rolling it down, go in one direction mostly. Once you get it filled up where you want it back, like over here, and just keep rubbing the granules up to the empty ties so they'll fall in and fill up. And you can take your finger, as you rub it down, you'll feel the pieces that are rolling around. It's okay to leave a piece of gravel or two on top of a tie every once in a while, because even in the real railroads, they're not completely clean. But you don't want a whole bunch. And then when you start to glue it down, it's going to go in there as well. So anyway, get it rubbed in the best you can. I'll probably just pour it around the bumper. I don't think I'm going to necessarily fill it in under the bumpers. Anyway, this is how I groom the profile for this. Just get it rubbed in. Probably go to the other ladder once I move in, but I just want you to see what I'm doing to do it. I'll just do the basics on this first piece, and then I'll turn the camera off once I get enough of it done that I can glue it. After I get the center part filled in and it's clean, then I come back with my little cup and I pour it right up against the rail till it falls over, and it just covers the tie and fills against the rail. And you can see how much I'm putting on there. Try to be consistent so I don't have a whole lot of gap showing. And if you get a little bit dumped in here, you can rub it back out, but it's pretty much cleaned up once you do that. Anyway, I find this is the best way to really get a clean profile. Okay, as you can see, I got it dumped, looks pretty even. So now what I do is I take my finger and I grab the top of the rail, kind of put one finger in front of the other one so I don't have gravel falling into the rail. Then once I get that, I come back very gently and take my finger and I rub across the top of the tie to get the gravel cleared away. And when I do that, I get clean against the rail and I can feel it. And then you can see it gives you that built up profile down the sides. Now, if it gets a little bit messy, you can use a brush, but I found this coaster, Home with the Free because of the Brave, from the VFW, is where I got this. But I can just gently scrape the gravel up on the side so it makes a nice clean line here. And if you see that it's kind of goofy, you can actually take the card and just kind of roll it over like this, and it'll press it flat and makes it look nice. So anyway, you can see how I got the profile there. And now I'll do the other side the same way. Start over here, filling it up, the gravel over the ties up against the rail. And you can look at what you're doing to see how much you're pouring out. You just don't want to do it too much, because you're just wasting the ballast otherwise. You're just trying to get enough to fill in between the ties, on top of the tie, and up against the rail, so that when you clean it back out, it goes over the edge and gives it a little bit of a build out profile. This is the yard area, so it's going to be a little different. Back of the bumper, so it looks like it's got some build up around it. Okay, same thing, just run your finger down, gently rub it off against the rail so you don't get too much in there. And again, I pre-painted the rails so they look kind of rusted. So when you get through, you got something that looks like that. And kind of cleans it up a little bit. All right. Now I usually do a little bit more than that. I usually do about 2 or 3 feet at a time before I glue it. And then once that's glued, you got to stop. And I'm going to show you in a minute how to glue that. But I think for time and whatever, it's the same process all the way down. I'm going to go ahead and just do this little short section and get it glued and put it in place so you can see what it does. So let me do that right now, get the stuff I need. So here's what I do. Be right back here. Okay, I got to mix up the glue because I don't have any made. So let me do that and then I'll start the camera again. What I do, I just use an empty jug like this. And I take 1 bottle of this school glue, 4 ounces, and then dump it all in. Then I put a half a bottle of hot water in there and shake it up. Dump it, another half a bottle of hot water, dump it and shake it. So usually about one full bottle, another half a bottle, and then I mix it all up good to give you your glue. So let me do that, and then I'll come back and do the rest of this. Okay, I got the Elmer's glue poured into here, drained the 4 ounces of bottle, filled it full of hot water, shook the little bottle, drained it, did it again. So you're going to use about 1.5 bottles up to 2 bottles of water. And then you pour it in here with the glue that's in the bottom. And then you just want to shake it real good to get it mixed well, so that the white glue that you poured out of the bottle is mixed with the diluted water. So it's all nice and mixed up. And it's going to be thin. Now some people buy this stuff. No, this is the Flex Paste. They make a glue that you can get from Woodland Scenics. It's kind of expensive. I had a bottle of it, but they dried up, so I'm not using them. Then, see here, I got another little jug someplace. Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. Actually, I've got it mixed up here. Pour this back in. Okay, I've been using this little container. I think these are old butter dishes or something. I'm not sure where I got them. But I usually put enough glue, probably about, this isn't going to take that much right now, but about 1/2 inch or so. You're going to use quite a bit of this, more than you think. I've already used, I think, 5 bottles of little Elmer's glue. I've been buying it from the dollar store for $1.25. It's really cheap there. It's the cheapest place you can buy the kids' school glue. And then, let me get this other thing out of here while I'm thinking about it. I bought a case of isopropyl alcohol, 99%. Now you can use rubbing alcohol if you buy the 75%. And I sometimes dilute this a little bit. But you don't want to use a lot of water. What you want mostly is the alcohol. And you'll see. And then I got this little sprayer my sister-in-law gave me for Christmas. And I fill that full of the alcohol out of the alcohol bottle. But what I do is I start off with this little pump sprayer, not real close. And I do about a 4-inch section, 4 or 5, and get it good and wetted down with the alcohol. And then I take the eyedropper and I put it right beside the ties, and you can see it sucks right in. Hopefully you can see it. I don't have the camera real close. But anyway, the idea is to get this thing really saturated with glue. And you just go right down, try not to touch the gravel. Take your eyedropper and just keep dropping lots of this glue along the edges of it. And you're going to think, oh, well, what a mess. But the reality is this glue dries clear, or has a flat sheen. So it actually takes, if you got a gravel that's kind of shiny, this will take that sheen right out of it. So you actually want to keep running the glue along the edge until it bleeds out past the gravel. If you don't do that, the edge gravel won't get stuck in like it needs to be. So, and if you notice that it's starting to bead up a little bit more, just go ahead and add some more alcohol. See, it's kind of drying out up front here. So I'll just spray it again, get it good and wet. And you can see it's running out past the edge of the ballast right here. Just a little bit more. I just want to make sure I've got all of it glued. I don't care if it gets into the... And you don't have to worry about it building up on your ties or any of that. It's going to soak right in. and it'll dry out. You won't even see it. So just do the same on both sides of your deal here. The rails and inside the ties. I usually go up against the rail first so it has a chance to suck under the rail part. And you can see right up here it's kind of standing a little more. That's because it's not real wet at the front edge. And it's alcohol, it completely dries. That's why I use the 99%. You know, there's an argument for everything, what to use, what not to use, but you don't want to use something with a lot of water because all that does is causes stuff to rust. And actually this 99% alcohol, you can use it for track cleaner. It's the cheapest way to buy a track cleaner as well. So don't buy all these expensive pre-made track cleaners, you're just wasting money. Anyway, just keep adding the glue with your eyedropper. And if it happens to run past the edge, that's all right. It'll all dry up and you won't even notice it. So almost done here. So that's what you get right there. I'm just going to keep going down, working my way down here. We'll do another little short section. Get it good and wet down with the alcohol. Remember, the alcohol is what breaks the surface tension of the glue and the whatever's in there. If it's got a little water in the glue, it helps that to break that surface tension. They call it capillary action, I think. But so you just keep putting it in until you see it suck into the track, which this stuff is really absorbing. But this sinks down in really well, and when it dries, you can see out here there's no loose gravel, maybe a little grain or two, but nothing that you can't just vacuum up, and it won't suck up with the vacuum when you're cleaning it. So anyway, I've done this for years. This is how I've always done my ballasted road bed on O scale, at least. I think I even did something similar when I was doing HO and N, but haven't done them in a few years. So I bought these eyedroppers. I don't know if the pack of 20 or 25 or whatever. Got them off of Amazon for a few bucks. Bought the alcohol off of Amazon as well. But I just keep adding the glue until it leaves a nice wetted surface. And it kind of soaks right down into the ballast. But this way, you know it's going to get glued well and not come up. And if you're careful, you don't disturb the profile any. Doing it this way, it just soaks down in, and next thing you know, it's there. And if it starts drying out like I can see it is, you just come back with this and go spray, spray, spray until it gets it wetted again. And then you can just come back and add more glue where you need to. You definitely want to make sure it runs down into the lower stuff, because if you don't, you'll have a lot of loose gravel. It'll just come loose and flake up. Like I said, it's okay to get extra. If it runs onto you can see it running out around here, that's fine. That means I know I've got plenty of glue in there. Not worried about it. So just keep working your way down a little bit at a time. Now what I found is I don't usually do an adjacent track because I want to not disturb anything. You could, it's up to you, but like I said, I usually do about 2 to 3 feet at a time, just because it's very tedious and it gets old. but just keep coming back at it. And so anyway, I think you get the idea. I'm not going to bore you to tears going all the way down, but I'll get the rest of this done. So let me shut the camera off and we'll come back. All right, here's a close-up of what we did with the glue. You can see how it soaked up and ran down. I went ahead and did a second track over here. Okay, I got a lot of the ballast in this area. As you can see, it goes all the way to the bumpers. And here's the other side showing the trains on the track with the ballast under, as you can see. And here's the track ballasted with the little scenery in between. I'll come back and add more bushes and stuff, but this has got all the grass. And I'm actually going to do a little video showing you how to install the grass and put it on, but that'll be the next one. Thanks for watching. Come back again. See you next time.